The world over, nations are struggling with the menace of sexual gender-based violence. People living with disabilities and with the fact that they are incapacitated at different aspects in their lives, they are the most hit. They are harassed. People take advantage of their physical and mental nature, yet they find it hard to find appropriate solutions and assistance from responsible public officers.
Nze Baluka Florence okusinzira ku kyalo ky'Emagola omuluka gwa Namoni egombola Malongo district ye Mayuge. Ng'obulemo bwange bwendi nabwo bwa kigere era nebedera ku miigo. Nga nze nafuna okutulugunyizibwa okuva eri baba wange kuba yandeka mu isomero yalekera okumpa school fees buti nasigala nga nti emiwaka kairi yavaawo yatandika okutubinga nze wakano ni mama wange awala ni bananga abandi mbu tumuvuire mu itaka lyali kwenda kwetundirawo kubanga yasooka yabinga nze zenka ati tiri kwenda wano butinze nabanga ndi kwesirikirizamu oku nabakuye nakobera bankoba ati bebaawo avwere buve akole ki aida akubede mwena akutolewo yali ali kumingolo okubanga nze ndi kwobukosefu ku mubiri gwange tansubira nze zena kuba wa mugaso era nze zena tiwoma kuba mu makage awala ni mama wange twale ekyana kye kiki ekirema muvire mu mitaka lyange twalopa ku yechi yamani yasalawo yena kairi yasalira ninzo omusango buti navwawo ekitongole kya IDIWA Uganda kyabanga kyeida ewaife ne Mayuge nga kiyamba abala n'abakazi abali ku obulemo ku mibiri daibwe najja nekubirira endulu baida bandirukira baleta ebaluwa ibakuntumye oluvainuma muzeyi yaira kumulamwa yakoba ati bana mube wakawaimwe zenzira buzibu nimwe era mubaawe zira kijja batuuka ku kyokyona tufuna obuzibu wetubanga tujira okulopa emisango daife tibatuwuliriza abo bukiiko bakiyamani oba ba polisi tibatuwuliriza olw'okubanga ife tuzira kasente obubaka bwendi nabwo kubazaire abazaala abaana abakosefu era abali ku obulemu ku mibiri daibwe ndibakubiriza nze okusinzira bire ebyantuuka ku byona byona bye neebonera ku mubiri gwange ndisaba nti bo batabitusa ku baana baibwe baleke ngaakoba ati nazaala abaana 10 ayo owa 10 n'omulala mulema be akobe nga nazaala abaana 10 na mulala bona nga ezza gwasosola era bamuwenga buli kyetaago babatwala
Amaina gange nize Beatrice kuva Mayuge District Malongo sub county Namadi village Namadi parish baba kyalo tuli ku obukosefu n'abaana ab'obuwala tutulugunizibwa mu ngeri nnyingi. Mu mwaka gwa corona 2022 yatunda embuzi dange nti alijja kunzimbira numba tiyanzimbira yavaawo yajja ati ajja kukola tiyera bwe mukubira isimu nti abaana akoba ati nze nzira kyenaalekeeyo ezira kyange kyona kyona nazaala wange yatandika okuntulugunya aminga munumba yangwa kuyankuba yamala okunkuba yanjira kwerosi alikwenda enumba alikwenda obuliri abeerosi we baida zena n'abakoba nti asooka kunsasula byange bye bayonoona memale bano olw'okubanga ni mukosefu kubanga nazalange yanvuma emirundi egiwera okola akaisa akafu ako yatuuka okunkuba okuva n'olwaleero lekera okwemerera ku mwana wange nti omusaba waire 10 era we nakoba kumutaba namunani n'obuse bwange guliranga abaana bange waire mukene yakoba ati tisobola abagulira mbigulira mukene nga mbyeta ntya awo we nalemwa kwerosi awo ekitongole kya IDIWA ekyaviirayo kyatandika okunamba wekyanamba kyaida kyatyama mu nsonga dange wamuniroya tweinongola ensonga omusango gwa musinga era loya bwe yajja kati saawa eno wetwaterera aba IDIWA okusinzira mu mbeera yenalimu embi bandetera kwa kawunga n'ebidandaali tibakomaawo bangabira ku mbago bangabira ku bidandaali n'iduma tibakoma ku ebyo batandika okumpa obuyambi bankansolinga ino.
Amayina gange nenze nabire Hadija okusinziira n'amatale. Ndi mukyala mufumbo gombolola Buwaya omuluka Kabayingire District Mayuge. Ndi mukyala aliko obulemo buli ku mukero mugoda. Obuzimu bwange bwenfunye mu bufumbo musada kuntulugunya. Bwenima ebyange abintoolako yabitwalira mugalikwa wange niye bamere ajja mu nnimiro yasima yatwalira mugalikwa wange. Abakyala nga ife abali ku obulemo omwami akutulugunya nga idi nti ozirawo osobola kujja kuba nakusobola ate niwo omweguya olw'okuba tosobola kuvaawo kujja wandi. Ate kimwe ekyokubiri abakyala abali ku obulemo nisifo tusobola okukolerera ki abalamu kuba asobola okutoola ku ekikyo kabiri yakitwalira omulamu iwali ku obulemo kuba aba akudooga nti tosobola ezira kyonaamukola oli mukosefu akutoola ku ekikyo yakunagaku nga mumalirivu. Okuva IDIWA bwe yayingiramu buti tuli bafumbo yakyusaamuku omwami wange ebikolwa bye yali akola walatika bulamu ayitikalinga wali omulanga gwempa abakyala abali kubita mu buzibu nga bwembitamu naddala abakyala abali ku bukosefu nti bateefoobya ojja kwerosiga bikulema wajja ku poliisi paka woofuna abayambi abakuyamba ate butinga butige ntuuse wano mbona mukyala munange ng'ali ku obulemo ke bali kumukosa era nsobola okukubira ekitongole kunze bana ono bali kumutulugunie naye azira gakola ki gajja.
Jessica Magemeso, a blind in Buwaya sub-county, Mayuge District, says they had been undergoing a lot of struggles in life, especially when accessing social services. She's, however, appreciative of IDIWA's support of empowering them socially and economically. She further appeals to people living with disabilities not to undermine themselves.
Amayina gange ndetebwa mukyala Jessica Magemeso nga ndi mutyami waabwe Buwayiswa ndi mukazi na mwandu era ali ku obulemo tibona n'ekyalo Buwayiswa eigombolola Buwaya District Mayuge. Mpera ano bwe nali wano nga nina omwana wa mugala wange nga yeena ali ku obulemo zeena ndi ku obulemo ye bamuzaala mwayenga mukoyirime wange yamunsuulira gano ng'omwana atuuse ekiseera yeesika yakola ati nga tibona nga gemukoba kwayiza ntaka kaakaana tikazaala nga nze siizaala balema. Bwe nali gano twafuna abazira kisa ekitongole kya IDIWA kyavaayo kyayida ku igombolola bayida baatulaalika twajayo nga baleese omusomo bwe baamala okutusomesa amateeka osobola okweripootinga ng'olina omwana oba wa muliraanwawo oba wuwo okumuyamba. Zeena bwe nayira eno nakirowoozaaku zeena n'abakubira isimu zeena neeyogeraku ku nsonga dange nalindi gano ke bayida ngamba inonola bukalamu bajja bakola ku nsonga dange ole bajjayo bamuyiza mu mbeera yasobola kuntaasa omwana oyo yamutwala yatandika okumuwa obuyambi. Kale neebaza aba IDIWA omusomo ogwo gwe baatuleetamu era omusomo ogwo gwatugundula ino kubanga twali twetya nga nze Jessica nali neetya nga gemba muno osobola mu kiyumba kye nalingamu nga tifuluma nga nkuba nti yegenda afuluma ningwa yegenda afuluma nimanda ekintu aye ensomesa ye baatusomesaamu ate baatuwa kuno obuyambi babaago basobola okututambuza kutwajja ku mubana ife abalema batabona. Kale naafuna amaani naafuna obuvumu kuba nali neetya n'ekizimbe kino ndowooza tyandikifunye kuba nali neetya. Mpera n'omulanga gwenkubira banange bonabona abali ku obulemo oba abalina abaana abali ku obulemo bonabona buteetya bawulire ng'oba musomo bawulire ng'oba ki basobola okwebeeda abaana abo baba baire tibasoma babatwale ku isomero basome. Omuntu oba mukazi oba ki yeena asobola okufumba asobola okukola ki yeena yaba ng'omukazi omulamu buli kintu yakituukiriza.
Amaina gange ndetebwa Nantabo Jessica nga nva mu igombolola eri Ebugwaya omuluka Nsango ekyalo Namago nga ndi kansala ow'abakosefu era n'aba paraligo ow'ekitongole kya IDIWA. Nze nga paraligo kyendogera kutulugunyizibwa kw'abakyala n'abaana abaliko obulemu, abantu abo batulugunyizibwa ino. Aye okusomesebwa kwange nga paraligo nibampa n'amateeka njire nga tusobola okusomesa mu byalo abakyala bategeera eidembe lyabwe n'abaami ababaire batulugunye ino abakyala bakendeezaaku n'abaana abaliko obulemu. Abantu abaliko obulemu batulugunyizibwa bati. Omuntu aliko obulemu bw'oba n'ekikyo bwe benda bwe bakutwala oba bakikunaga bakikutoola kukuba oliko obulemu oba tiweesobola. Niyo bakwagaana mu ngira basobola okukunaga ebibyo by'olina byo kuba igwe okwetukolewa amagulu malamu lwaki taakunaga ekuniyeejiira. IDIWA enambye ino enambye ino kubanga nali kansala okumala emyaka gyona inumere aye nga tibitegeera. Ye nga nebuuza mulimo gwange okuba kansala w'abakosefu ndina mulimo ki? Aye olw'ekitongole kya IDIWA kigiireke kinsomesa nsobweire okwagaana abaana abaliko obukosefu n'abasomesa abakyala abamuzibe ng'abandi balowooza kwetoola mu bulamu bwansi eno olw'okuba yafuuka muzibe. Aye ngiireke mbasomesa n'abakoba nti bano okuba muzibe tikirowooza kwetoola mu bulamu kalina omugaso era abaana bwe bakuguliramu emirembe. Era bwe twafuna ekitongole kya butanti n'ajja n'ataaga akabega bamuzibe abo era ebuweeswa kiri bulungi bamuzibe baafuna amayumba. Aye obuzibu bwendagaine bwendi kwagaana mwino bwa kigambo kya transport. Kuba oyenda okujjayo bali bakukubiraku n'amasimu aye wena oluisi weekubagizanga wakatuuse aye ng'ozaaka transport oluisi ntaamu na bigere negaayo n'atambula kuba abandi teiremba ndi nti ayinza okwizaako ekitali kirungi. Tusaba gavumenti etuyambe esobola okutufunira ebitanda eby'okuzaaliraku.
Amaina ndi Kataike Alice, kansala omukazi atwala abantu abalina obukosefu mu igombolola ly'Ekigandaalo. Galalaawo ndi paraligo mu kitongole ekya IDIWA nga ninze omuntu omutabaganya ow'abantu abagansi n'ekitongole ekyo. Embeera yetubitamu tinungi kubanga abantu batera ino okunigiriza abawala n'abakyala abalina obulemu ku mubiri nga tibabayikiriza abakyala abafumba okuba na kyaibu. Kwegamba abaana ab'obuwala abakaali kwetuuka abasaada mu kifo eky'okujja mu ngeri ng'ey'omu babagema bugeme babanga babatuusiisa mu bikolwa ebitasaaniire. Mu bizinesi omuntu waaba alikola bizinesi alina obulemu ku mubiri tafuna bakasitoma notantiru nga bala abandi abali kutunda baweesiisa mebaja nti oyo omulema yena aguzaani omulema yena alina bwongo ki. Mbagaana abakyala bano baagaana obuzibu nti abantu ab'ebyobulamu abasawo tibabataako ino mu birowoozo. Bwe batuuka wano awo gwebeeta OPD awo omuntu oluisi aba akwetuka bukwetuke oluisi aba musiwa tawulira oluisi aba tabona kati abasawo tibabataako ino birowoozo. Ekiseera kyatuuka bamala okukola kubale baatambula baja igwe bakuleka awo nga kwegamba omuntu alina obukosefu azira gwabuuza azira gwatandikiraku yasigala awo nga takoleibwako. Mbagaano ku poliisi eyo kabiri nesinga buzibu kubanga batera ino okuba nti tibawuliriza nsonga daibwe ate bw'otambula ino police stations dizira ku ramps abalema bano ab'obugaali watuuka abakuluya aye nga obwetaavu bwali kwenda buli munda ezira amutaaku birowoozo asigala awo kuluya azira bwaniina mule azira bwasobola kwesitula kujja mule oluisi yavaawo nga tayambibwa gaafuna akaaganya n'atuuka mu poliisi omwo. Buzibu bwayagaana basooka kumubuuza oli kuuku ni mwino nga kye bategeeza abiseekuuku n'akasente me bawulirisa ensonga de. Ate most abantu abalina obulemu ku mubiri batera okuba nti tibaba bulungi ino na sente. Kale yasigala nga tabalina sente tawulirisibwa bibye era byabanga ebyo bisigaire awo bityo. mpagaano kwero si wansi wano omuntu alina obulemu ku mubiri waajayo batera ino okuba nti olamukalabasa ennya basobola n'okumubuzaawo ero si chairperson yakola ki yamubuzaawo nga tayenda n'asooka n'okumukoba ati muno eriyo obuzibu bw'iddirano lwa ABC era yaba nti abuzeewo nga bakalina kunjira mu nsonga dde obuzibu bwenfunye mu kugemaganya abantu bano abalina obukozi bakalimu okwetya era oluisi ebindi iwe mwene obizuula wabiwulira wajja direct gekibaire me bakukobera issues edibaire aye kati saawa eno ekitongole kyaife kino ekyaidibwa bwe kyaidda waliwo okwakawaganya nti omuntu alina obulemu ku mubiri aidiga atandikira okuloopa ensonga de nkubira gavumenti omulanga abantu bano bali kutuukanga eyo baalo bakufuna buyambi bulungi lwaki oluisi omuntu agiirewo nga tayogera nga tawulira gazira interpreter yena aliwo omuntu ono yabanga ali stranded n'abantu abali kumukola kubabanga tibawuliriza nsonga je kuba tibaidi kiki kyakola ki kyakoba ndi kubira gavumenti omulanga nti agali police agali amalwaliro agali amasomero batenga oba interpreter abo abantu bano bafuna engeri ey'okuyambibwa n'ayongera okusinga okwebaza ekitongole kyaife ekyaidiwa ekyaida mu igombola kyaida mu Mayuge District kyanjira wansi mu igombola ly'Ekigandaala era kyanjirira irala wansi mu kyalo era nkubira abaidiwa omulanga nti mutatulekulira mwongere okutuwa emisomo gye mugireke mutuwa mwetani bano abasawo bali misomo gyaife abasirikale bali misomo gyaife abasomesa bali misomo gyaife wotuuka saawa eno areas edo waliwo endawulo gemwaidira ni saawa eno wetuli waliwo okwendawulo otuuka mule wamana nti abantu bano bafunako okusomesebwa ebigemagana n'omuntu alina obukosefu ku mubiri.
I'm called Wako Harriet. I'm a senior clinical officer working in Mayuge Health Center 4 as the facility in charge at the same time focal person GBV/art services. The services we offer to the SGBV survivors at our facility, first and foremost we counsel that survivor. We give treatment where need be, and we also refer or we link that survivor to a community-based organization nearby for more counseling. And most survivors come in with police forms. They don't come in direct that maybe they have been affected somewhere. There are some delays. So in case if it is to give a service like PEP, that is pre-exposure prophylaxis, they come in when the time has elapsed, because it is strictly 72 hours. So now that process going to the LC, then they take them to the police, then the police refers them to the facility. You end up not giving that first service of PEP, even emergency pills. So that is one big challenge that we know. That is the worst experience I encounter with. And now when filling these forms, actually these forms, if I fill in this form, I'm supposed to be paid, because I'll be that now I've put myself to be a physical supporter to this girl and woman with disability, but we are not being facilitated. So we end up filling the forms, and you end up, I don't know where the cases end, so we don't follow up. That is also another big challenge. I call in the government to at least provide the adjustable beds, examination coaches, because at times these people are heavy and I'm one health worker. I will not be able to carry this person to that
Detective AIP Saramura Sara from Mayuge Central Police Station calls upon government to consider and prioritize training key public officers in key departments on how to adequately handle issues involving people living with disabilities.
Detective AIP Saramura Sara, in charge SGBV Mayuge, at our facility here in regard to disabled girls. The services which we are having here, we always intervene in these disabled girls. We record their statements. We escort them for medical examination, which is within the station. And we do counseling, some of them. The challenges we encounter, these girls and women with disability, some who cannot talk, we have no translators, and there it becomes hard for us to get the information. And there the culprit gets a chance to jump off from the scene by sensitizing these women, giving them empowerment that though they are disabled, they are also human beings. If this one happens to you, you go here. Not always only that they report it to police. They have their local leaders there. There are these people for CDOs, any other person like teachers, leaders in the village, pastors, so that they can reveal, because others, they fear the police, most of them. There, I'm calling upon the government to train some service providers, police, doctors, even teachers, even these local council also trained to support these women with disability.
Amayina gange nze Juliet Chebogola, probation officer in Mayuge. Basically, the services that we do offer are psychosocial services, where we offer guidance to survivors who have been violated sexually. Sometimes they may not know where to go, where to report to. Also do referral and linkages, we refer them. For example, we do not prosecute such cases here. So what we do is now to link them to report to police. Sometimes also there is linkage and referral to health facilities where they have to go and seek medical attention, because in the violation they could have suffered other effects. And we also do follow-up of such cases, but we don't have any specific services that we do. We don't have something that is so specific. It could have been maybe a shelter, but which we do not have as Mayuge. There are quite a number of challenges, surely. For example, if we had survivors that have impairments, maybe with the hearing, maybe with the speech. I'm not a specialist in those other sign languages, nor do we have a specialist here at the station. So sometimes we really find it challenging. We need an interpreter, you may need an interpreter, and this has happened in many cases. Yeah, there are also challenges like for follow-up. As probation, we don't have any means of transport, and yet our cases need quick response. The other challenge we get is when we have cases where we need these survivors to be examined. We don't have doctors handy to attend to such survivors urgently. I would appeal to our partners, to the government, to see this as a need, whereby capacity must be built. Because sometimes when we are undergoing these cases, we may not have particular, attention to such subjects like sign language. So I would think the current syllabus of social workers should have that. And where possible, we can hire. If we can hire a sign interpreter, well and good. If a partner can have one with whom we can easily call in where we have such a case, well and good. But I think the best would be capacity building for social workers. such that we are not limited. Anytime, you do not have to wait until the interpreter comes, but you rightly handle the case. We are thankful to our partners who really come in to partner with us and help, because as a matter of fact, government cannot do everything. At times resources are limited to do everything. So to us, when we have partners like IDIWA who specifically serve or partner with us, we are grateful, and we really call upon you, where these gaps come to your attention, please always give a hand such that we give a complete service to our
I'm Elizabeth Kayanga, the Executive Director of Integrated Disabled Women Activities, IDIWA. I have a physical disability. Today we are talking about women and girls' disabilities and gender-based violence. Why do we talk about gender-based violence? Eastern Uganda, a demographic survey conducted in 2016 revealed that Eastern Uganda has the highest number of GBV cases in the whole country, with an average of 78% all cases in Uganda. IDIWA conducted a baseline survey on gender-based violence among women and girls with disabilities, and the survey revealed that 73% of women and girls with disabilities had experienced violence. The most common GBV cases include physical assault, psychological torture, rape, non-spousal and mother-to-child attacks, among the many cases. You realize that when disability and gender-based violence intersect, you realize that GBV has different consequences and results and causes. Women and girls with disabilities are particularly targeted by perpetrators, mostly because of their limited mobility. They are considered weak and therefore they are taken advantage of, but also due to negative attitudes in the community and lack of community support structures, communication barriers, because the most women with hearing disabilities cannot express themselves when they want to report cases. Of late, we are witnessing a more deepened shadow pandemic of violence against women and girls, and this has been occasioned by the onset of COVID-19 pandemic. Many women have been denied access to basic facilities, movement, including accessing medical services. Over the past 21 years, IDIWA has worked with a number of women and girls with disabilities and provided support in many ways. We have been able to use this cumulative knowledge base and experience to address even more complex cases of GBV during the pandemic. I'm happy to note that during the pandemic, IDIWA has been able to resolve 23 cases through mediation, while 7 cases are still pending in courts of law. And working with our paralegals and human rights defenders, we have saved many souls of women and girls with disabilities who were on the verge of committing suicide due to mental health challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. We have achieved this through counseling and mental health and wellness sessions for women and girls with disabilities and their family members. Yeah, so what challenges are we facing as we implement GBV among women and girls with disabilities? One is inaccessibility to the built environment and communication barriers. Women and girls with disabilities cannot easily access the different offices, the GBV service points, for example, police, courts of law, the probation office, the medical health centers. Women with hearing impairment cannot also express themselves when they try to report cases of gender-based violence because they cannot communicate normally. There is need for sign language interpreters. For example, women with disabilities are just carried to the different offices when they seek services from such offices. We believe this seriously reduces their confidence, their self-esteem, and at the end of the day, they are not able to articulate issues. Yeah, there is another problem of corruption in government offices. Women with disabilities have to pay out for each and every services that they look for, be it in police, in health centers. They have to pay for medical examinations, and that is not right. We also realize that court cases take a very long period to be disposed of, and justice delayed is justice denied. We have also experienced cases where parents connive with the local council members and the perpetrators to settle cases out of court. And in the end, women and girls with disabilities don't receive justice at all when cases are settled out of court. One, we recommend that government should implement the proactive laws. For example, the Building Control Act of 2013 should be implemented to deal with construction and be able to provide for the accessibility needs of people with physical disabilities. Two, we recommend that government should recruit sign language interpreters to work in all the GBV service centers, for example, police, the courts of law, the probation office, so that women can be able to communicate with the relevant offices. Government should also endeavor to empower the local council courts. They need to appreciate human rights, they need to appreciate disability and GBV itself. They also need to understand clearly the content of the Local Council Court Act. This will enable them effectively deliver their mandate. We also appeal to government to expedite the passage, repeal, and amendment of relevant laws on disability. For example, the Indictment Law and the Chief Magistrates Court Act, to be able to cater for people that have mental disabilities in the criminal justice system.